What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to talk to you about Opendoor. I want to go over some of the data points, what's moving it today, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Opendoor is down 3.5%, 515 the high, 493 the low. So it is trading within a set range, and plus we're seeing a little bit low volume. So 23.6 million shares being traded. So for those of you that wanted kind of cheaper prices, you kind of got it today, luckily enough, I guess. But a lot of this fear in the broader market is stemming from data. So for instance, first thing, we did have non-farm payroll that came in at negative 92,000. Forecast was 70. The market wants negative, but not this negative. So again, the market's kind of torn based on this. Retail sales, I feel like based on just seasonality, people are kind of turning a blind eye to that. But unemployment came in at 4.4, forecast at 4.3. So overall, not necessarily the best, but as a byproduct, we did see this go up slightly. So for the March 18th meeting, we're pretty much not going to get a cut, unfortunately. But for the next one, the following one, April the 29th, there now is a 21.4% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut. So market seems to be very much wanting a rate cut, and that's most likely going to be the next big catalyst. Luckily enough, during at least the trading day, tensions haven't really escalated between the States and Iran, but still a lot of different sectors are starting to feel a pinch or potential of a pinch due to kind of oil prices. So it's not necessarily the greatest day, but in Opendoor's case, it still is lagging. And that's been a kind of common scenario for the last several trading days. And I've even brought that up on how just Opendoor is getting overlooked. Because of course it's logical to assume that what's happening in Iran, oil prices, is all going to affect housing prices and what Opendoor is trying to do, right? Because that's logical. But nonetheless, press releases, absolutely nothing. No SEC filings, nothing being posted by Kaz on social media. He's kind of ranting about some things, but nothing really relevant for Opendoor. Looking at shorts, they are increasing 413,000 shares. 16.1% of the free float is being shorted. Works to be 135.5 million shares overall are being shorted. So one thing as well why most likely Opendoor has been lagging is you can kind of see the shares on loan. It has dropped a lot. So that's kind of a positive, but that does also mean that some institutions probably did sell out roughly over the last like 4 or 5 days, about 25 million shares. So institutions that have been lending out their stock are selling. So again, that might be a positive thing, negative thing, depending on how you kind of see that. But shorts are fairly active today overall. So first thing, shorts were increasing about 2.1 million shares. So again, shorts are fairly active. Looking at the options, we're seeing kind of low stuff. So 602,000 in calls, 398,000 in puts. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be above 5 and then above 550 for next week. So a kind of recovery is anticipated. Bears are anticipating for the opposite to occur, for it to stay below 5 and then sub 450 the week ending March the 20th. With today being Friday, this is the open interest, so you do have 3,000 at that 450, 11,000 at that 5. So if for whatever reason Opendoor is able to close above at or above $5, then you'll have that 11,000 in the money. So that could cause a nice little bump up going into next week. So that again is something to keep in mind. Shorts know this, and most likely this is why they might throw a lot at Opendoor near the kind of second half of today. But one thing did recently happen that I wanted to kind of share with you, and that is this right here. So new chains. I believe previously it was up to around 11. That's kind of the highest amount that they did have. So market makers added new chains all the way up to $16. They do that because they feel that there is a possibility that the underlying asset could go to that. So again, for those of you that believe that Opendoor is going to go to $82, and I don't know if Eric's still kind of talking about that. Honestly, I haven't really seen much of Eric. He's not really on my feed, so I don't know if he's still posting or still believes $82 is on the table. But the fact that market makers extended the chains up to $16, that's kind of a good thing. So they feel that by 2028, it could be a possibility. So just wanted to kind of bring that up. On the secondary market, we're seeing 2 transactions above $100,000, one for $782,000, other one being for $236,000. Dark pool, very active. So this is most likely a lot of shorts today because shorts are fairly active. You do see some hold numbers though, so hedge funds are kind of riddled in here, but nothing of any significance. So the largest transaction, single transaction, is $636,000. With it right now at $5, it is trading between this pivot and this S1, so 492 is going to be a strong support, and it kind of bounced off of that. So for those of you that want a dollar cost average, swing trade, 492 and then 484 as support levels. 506 is going to be the next kind of point to watch for. Ideally, best case scenario, it closes above that today, so just kind of watch for that. And then 520. So I think Opendoor is just being kind of overlooked and has been for a while, for the last week at least. But it's going to come down to when big money finally just is looking in the market for value, and they are going to be focused on Opendoor. So when things go green for Opendoor, it means business. And on the actual chart itself though, this is where it's kind of wedge bound between this white line, so that's the 10-day moving average, and also this 200-day moving average. I kind of mentioned that we are going to see a pinch very soon. Either we are going to break below that 200-day moving average, or we're going to really pinch above that 10, build up some good momentum, and retest this blue line right here, the 50-day moving average. So all in all, I think Opendoor, for those of you that believe in it and what Kaz is trying to do, as well as a management team, take advantage of these prices. Dollar cost average, yes, we could go a little bit lower, but at the same time, I think there's a fair amount of risk versus reward, and definitely a stronger likelihood of more upside. So let me know your thoughts on Opendoor. Are you buying? Are you selling? And actually, it looks like we're starting to finally wake up and move up. Again, couple points to watch for is going to be that $5 range and then that 506. But let me know your viewpoint on Opendoor. One final thing, if you're looking for some good buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, pop over to my Patreon. I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, as well as market analysis, trending sectors to kind of invest, trends, and so forth. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.